You can give them the gift of uninterrupted time. You're saying you are the one who matters most right now. And I know I'm not the only one to say yes to a play invitation my child gives me, only to be distracted by my phone or seeing other things that need to be done along the way, all of which could wait 10 minutes. Those small moments of responsive, joyful interaction literally wire your child's brain for connection. Hey there, and welcome back to Demystifying Child's Play through Play Schemas. I'm Ruth Furco, and I am so excited that you're joining us on the podcast today as I aim to help you understand the why behind your child's play so that you can parent with more confidence, joy, ease, and a lot less frustration. I am so glad that you're tuning in today because we're diving into something that lies right at the heart of childhood, and honestly, at the heart of parenting too: connection. Now, recently I came across a blog post that made the case that connection with your child doesn't require play, that instead you can build connection through things like sharing meals, walking together, or doing household chores side by side. And on the surface, I get it. There's a beautiful simplicity in finding connection in those everyday moments. But I have to be honest, I don't fully agree with the idea that play isn't necessary for connection. In fact, I believe the opposite. And the more I thought about it, the more it really got to me. Play is foundational for connection, especially in those early years. It's not just one way to connect with your child. For most young kids, it's the most natural, powerful, and effective way to connect with them. So today, I want to unpack why play is so important for connection, how it builds your relationship with your child, and how understanding something called play schemas can help you tune into your child's play more meaningfully. So let's get comfortable. Whether you're out on a walk, catching a rare moment of quiet, or multitasking around the house, let's dive in and explore connection through play and why I believe it's so important to connect in this way. Now, I've got about 6 points I want to work through, but first things first, play is the child's first language of connection. As adults, we rely a lot on conversation. We chat over coffee, we send texts, we talk things through. This is how we maintain relationships and how we work through what's going on in our world. But toddlers and preschoolers, they don't have that level of language yet. For them, play is the language of connection. When your little one hands you a toy phone and says, "Ring, ring," they're not just playing, they're saying, "This is something important to you. This can be something important to me. Will you join me in this moment? Will you step into my world?" And when I put it like that, does that have a little more meaning? They're not just choosing a random toy or picking a random play buddy. They're choosing you to step into their world. They're choosing you to connect with. When you say yes, even for just a few minutes, you're saying, "Yes, I see you. Yes, I'm here with you." And that is the essence of connection. Play gives children a safe, joyful way to express who they are, what they're feeling, and what they're curious about. And when we join them in that space, we're meeting them where they are, not where we want them to be. Okay, so let's head into point 2, about how play builds attachment and emotional safety. Now, there is decades of research behind this idea too, as well as behind play schemas. But for child development, we've got experts like Dr. Stuart Brown or Dr. Peter Gray, who have written extensively about the role of play in human connection, not just between kids and caregivers, but in relationships of all kind. But for today, if we're thinking about early childhood, play takes on an even deeper role. It helps to build secure attachment, that feeling of I am safe, I am seen, I am supported. When you play with your child, when you follow their lead, you share in their joy and you laugh together, you're showing up in a way that says, "You're worthy of my time and attention, and I delight in who you are." I know that it's not always that easy to delight in your children, especially if you're having a sleepless night or if it's just been a really busy day. But taking that time to delight in your child will bring more joy and less frustration. And understanding play, understanding the importance of it will really help. And this is a message that children need to hear, and they need to hear often. For you, it might look like putting your phone in another room, even for 10 minutes, so you can give them the gift of uninterrupted time. You're saying you are the one who matters most right now. And I know I'm not the only one to say yes to a play invitation my child gives me, only to be distracted by my phone or seeing other things that need to be done along the way, all of which could wait 10 minutes. Those small moments of responsive, joyful interaction literally wire your child's brain for connection. They learn that relationships are safe and trustworthy. They learn that you are their base, you are their home, and from there they can go off and explore the world confidently. And why am I all about connection? Now, if you've listened to a few of my episodes, you will have heard me say more than once that I'm in the physical stage of raising toddlers, Currently, I've got a 1.5-year-old and a 4-year-old and another one on the way. But I keep at the front of my mind that we're not in this young age forever. I'm raising my children for life. Children who'll become teenagers, who'll become adults, and they'll have their own toddlers. And when they get to that stage, I, and we as my husband and myself, want to have laid the foundations to be the kind of parents that they're connected with, the parents they can share their joys and struggles and mistakes. And this all comes from talking their language. As they're teenagers, it might be staying up late at night talking through problems, but as this young age comes, it's talking through the language of play. Now, I've mentioned it briefly. What about independent play? So before I go any further, the blog I mentioned argued that strong connection helps children play independently. And that I don't disagree with. That is absolutely true. And don't get me wrong, independent play is so important, both for our own mental well-being and our children's development. And actually knowing about play schemas and your child's current schema or schemas that they're working through really does support independent play. And I have a whole episode on it back at episode 9, so take a listen. Or you could head to playschemas.com/free for a cheat sheet that has the top 10 play schemas as well as other free resources. So at playschemas.com/free. Now, what I can't say though is that doing chores with your child or even eating a meal together will build connection as well or as strong as playing together. When a child feels securely attached, they're more likely to venture off and play on their own. They trust that you'll be there if they need you. But the missing piece of the argument is that sense of security, that building through connection, and that connection is built through play. Even in those toddler years, play is how children figure out the world and the people in it and who's safe, if they can trust their ideas will be listened to, or that their curiosity will be supported and their emotional needs will be met, even when they're just stacking blocks or zooming cars down a ramp. That's why prioritizing play, not just watching it, but engaging in it is so important. And that is where the magic of connection is born. And on top of this, everyday routines are way better when they're playful. I also love the idea of finding connection in the everyday. Sharing meals, taking walks, cooking together, they are all valuable moments. And they're often predictable rhythms of connection points and often hectic days or weeks. But here's the thing, they become even more powerful when you bring play into them. Instead of just brushing teeth, you could be singing a silly song while toothbrushing together. I have multiple ones that I can share, and if you want to hear me singing, just send me a DM on Instagram at play_schemas, and I can share some top ones in our rotation at the moment. But you could turn snack prep into a pretend cafe. You can make up a story as you're walking to the letterbox, or turn everyday family tasks into fun missions. It's still play, it's just woven into your daily rhythm. We don't need to separate connection and play. We can blend them, because when we do, those ordinary routines become extraordinary connection points. Okay, so I briefly mentioned it before, but how do play schemas help support children through play? Now, play schemas can really help you tune into your child's play in a really meaningful way. If you're new here, play schemas are those natural urges that all children have to explore ideas and concepts through repeated patterns of play. They are universal, they are worldwide. No matter where you're from, no matter where you are, children play in repeated ways. And there are 10 core play schemas that I talk through, including things like trajectory, which is throwing, dropping, watching things move through space, transporting, which is moving objects from one place to another, enveloping, which is wrapping or covering objects or themselves, and many more. So again, if you want to have all of them, head to playschemas.com/free for free downloads and other resources to help you understand these top 10. Now, each child will naturally gravitate to one or more of these schemas at a time. And when you start to recognize them, you begin to understand the why behind your child's play. For example, if your toddler is constantly throwing things or jumping things off any ledge they can find, they may be deep in the trajectory schema. That means they're exploring how things move through space. Knowing that gives you the power to support that urge safely and intentionally. You might offer a basket of soft balls to throw into a hoop, or put some cushions on the floor to create a soft fall space. Suddenly you're not just managing behavior, but you're connecting through play in a way that feels right to them. When your child feels seen and understood in play, rather than just redirected to other tasks, that strengthens your relationship. They feel accepted, safe, and supported in their learning. And you feel more confident as a parent because you're no longer just guessing. You're responding with empathy and intention. So last but not least, connection is the foundation and play builds it. So to wrap this all up, here's what I want to leave you with today. Connection doesn't require elaborate plans or hours of playtime, but for young children, play is one of the most effective ways to connect. Because play is their language, it's their emotional processing tool. It's their way of bonding with you, and it's their method of exploring the world. And when you meet them in that space, even briefly but intentionally, you're giving them the safety, joy, and trust they need to grow, explore, and thrive. You're also building a foundation for independent play, emotional regulation, and resilience. So yes, take those walks, share those meals, involve your kids in everyday life, but don't underestimate the power of play, not just for learning, but for loving. Okay, so if today has resonated with you, I would love to help you take the next step. Come and join me on Instagram at play_schemas, where I share daily tips, schema spotting strategies, and play ideas that support your child's development and deepen your connection. Or, if you're listening to this between the 5th and 26th of June 2025, head along to playschemas.com/beta, that is play, schemas.com/BETA, to apply to be a part of the Play Schemas Collective beta test team. You can also find today's show notes and links to schema resources over at playschemas.com/blog. So thanks so much for listening. Until next time, keep playing, keep connecting, and remember, today is a great day to play.